Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining me from. Good morning. Who is here? Hiya, depending on whether you're watching me live or you're watching the replay, because the replay will be ready after the live session. Live session is public. Who is here? Hi, everyone. Okay, who is here? If you're here, just drop a comment. Let me know where you're joining from. If you're here, drop a comment. Let me know where you're joining from. Hi. My name is Edima and I'm excited to have you in this live session for the Give Back Masterclass. I'm going to be switching two screens. I'll be here and I'll be here live on another gadget. I'm on a platform. Okay, so I'm here live for you, and I'm also here live for another group of people. It's an organization. I'm training on this same masterclass, so definitely the same schedule. So I have to do the same live for all of us, for people on my Facebook page and this organization. So I had to do that to be able to manage my time. I'd explained to them I'm nursing a baby, so my time is of the essence. Okay, so I'm going to be switching. My eyes will be going to this screen. My eyes also will be going to this screen. Sorry, please. I had explained earlier to you guys. Thank you very much. It's good to have all of you here. It's good to have you here, guys. If you're drop a comment, let me know where you're joining from. Let me know where you're joining from. Okay, so part of the house rules will be that you're very free to drop your questions in the comment section here. You're free to drop question in the chat box. I'll respond to those questions. If I cannot respond to all of the questions, my DM is always open. You can send in your questions. Okay, so we're just going to get started. If you join in, just drop a comment. Let me know where you're joining from, where you're watching from as well. Who is here? Drop a comment in the chat box. Let's know where you're joining from. For my Facebook, I think I have to be doing a lot of live sessions. Yeah, I have to be doing lots of live sessions. I just realized that I can actually have that time to do live sessions with you guys on Facebook. Okay, so this is the Give Back Masterclass. And why I put this up is recently I launched an ebook, how to launch your Give Back project. And that's from my over 15 years experience in giving back to my community. And I believe that every one of us should give back to our communities. sometimes it's not a very beautiful experience, especially when you're from a community that's hostile to development, or that is resistant to change, positive change. Some communities also, even when you're really say son of the soil or daughter of the soil, they may not really like support your initiatives. But against all odds, we must learn to give back to our communities. And so for over 15 years, I've been giving back to my community, the community where I was born and raised. And recently, of course, especially if you're following me on Facebook, recently I have been promoting Bakassi through the Bakassi International Fish Festival project. It's been a beautiful experience, learning how to navigate, learning how to execute that project, learning how to carry one along. It's been a very beautiful experience. And people have been asking me, how were you able to do this? How were you able to launch this project? And to be honest, lots of politicians started reaching out. How can I launch a project that is very impactful like your festival? I've answered these questions privately. I've hosted private, lectures. I've hosted private conversations. I've had to do training. I've even had to train a private university somewhere in Akwa Ibom on how to give back to their own immediate community and how that translates into impact for the organization, for the institution, as it were. And I've had several opportunities to train organizations on sustainable development projects. And of course, there's SDGs. If you're following me and you don't know what SDG means, go and Google it. SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. These are goals. These are different areas that you can channel your give back project on. But that's not why we are really here. I'm giving you this background so that you know why I had to recently drive the give back conversations. It is very important that we give back to our communities. The communities where we're born, where we're raised, the community that helps us to do whatever we are doing, the community that gives us the opportunity to do business, the community that gives us the enabling environment to grow our initiatives, our businesses, our companies. If you're running a company anywhere, wherever you're running that company, you should give back to that community, to the host community. So you can give back to community. It doesn't matter whether you were born and raised there actually, you can give back to that community as your host community. It's a community that's helping you do business. There's a very natural phenomenon that I am very particular about, and I believe in that phenomenon so well, that if the earth gives you the opportunity to do anything, to succeed in anything, give back to that same earth. It's a universal law. The more you appreciate the earth for giving you what it has given you, the more you get. The more you appreciate the earth for giving you what you're doing, the more you will earn, because it's very simple, right? If they say give and it shall be given to you, but this time this time around it's not just given to human beings. Give to the earth and it shall give back to you. When I was driving the Fish Festival project, one of the truths, axioms, one of the truths that I used to really communicate to especially the grassroots traditional leaders was that this water has given us fish. How much do you appreciate this water? This water has given us fish. How much do you even appreciate the fish that you've collected? I don't want to delve into very spiritual things, but it's a very simple truth. The earth that has given you that thing that you have, give it back to the earth. When God says, bring all the tithes into the storehouse, and prove me now whether I will not open up the storehouse and, you know, such that there will be room enough, like there will be no more room to even receive the blessings, the gifts. What do you think God was talking about? He was talking about giving back. Where do you see God to give him whatever you're giving? Where do you see God? Do you, when you make money, you withdraw the money and God, where are you? I want to give you back your money. No. It's in this world where we are, God had, I don't want to go into very spiritual things, but I'm just giving you this background so that you understand that it's very important to give back. Remember that time? The Jews, they are very spiritual people. They came to Jesus and they showed him a coin. You know, let's come back. Like let's come back to our own time now. The Naira notes. You see the face of recently I've seen Naira notes on social media, 2,000 Naira notes on social media with the face of Buhari and face of Yaradua. On the Naira notes, you have faces there. And then the Jews came to ask Jesus questions around whether to, you know, whether to use that money, to give that money or something. And Jesus said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. What's on the face of that coin? They said Caesar. Give it to Caesar, right? Why did Jesus say that? It's very important that we learn how to give back to the earth what the earth has given us. There's no two ways about it. And that is why the give back conversation is very strong. Stronger for me now than before, because I never used to take these things very, very seriously. But when I started, I've been doing it for 15 years. But I said, come on. Why can't people just learn how to do this for their communities? Instead of answering questions privately, I decided to put up an ebook as a guide for other people, because I know that there are people who really want to learn and to know what's up. Okay, so for today we are doing this masterclass, and the theme of this masterclass is how to turn your purpose to impact. Basically, purpose to impact. How to turn your purpose into sustainable impact. How to turn who you are, what you represent, everything about you, how to turn it into a life of sustainable impact. I know that some of us may not have been able to uncover our purpose. Yesterday I made a post about purpose, and I said purpose does not always wait for you to discover it. Sometimes it's under a cover, so you just have to uncover it. Sometimes under the cover of academic degrees, sometimes under the cover of your background, sometimes under the cover of your marriage, some kind of achievements. And so you have to stoop low to uncover it. So we are going to talk about purpose to impact. I have given you a background on why this conversation is becoming very strong. And this morning we'll be talking about purpose to impact and how this can influence your life, the things that you do, how you lead and how you serve. How you lead and how you serve. Whether you're serving your community, you're serving your neighborhood, you're serving your host community, you're serving your workplace, whatever. How you lead and how you serve. So, the Give Back project is the Give Back project ebook is still available for purchase. But for today, we'll be talking about how to turn your purpose into impact. And so, how do we move from purpose to impact? First of all, I'm going to let you know that this session. This session is, this entire thing we are going to be discussing is divided into 5 modules, and I'm going to take all of these 5 modules in a way that you will all understand. The first module is going to be talking about how to discover your purpose. How to discover your purpose. You know why? Because that is the foundation of giving back. Living well and giving back. How to discover your purpose, because that's the foundation of living well and giving back. If you do not live well, you will not be able to give back. And if you've not discovered your purpose, if you've not uncovered your purpose, it will be difficult to even live a life of impact, because you will just be everywhere. There's a quote that says, if you do not stand for something, you fall for anything. So if you've not discovered your purpose, it will be very difficult for you to do anything that you're doing. Okay, so the first module is discovering your purpose, the foundation of strategic living. The second module I'm going to be taking you is strategy for service, how to turn your purpose into projects. The third module I'm going to take you on is sustaining impact, how to fund and fuel your community projects. The fourth module is visibility and influence, building a brand around your impact. And then the final module is designing a life of purpose and prosperity. Designing a life of purpose and prosperity. So we're going to start. If this were to be a church, this would have been a time to say, let us say our opening prayers. So we will start from module 1, which is discovering your purpose, the foundation of living well and giving back. Like I said before, if you do not live well, you will not be able to give back. If you do not live well, you will not be able to give back. Okay? So first of all, what is purpose? First of all, what is purpose? You see, purpose is not just about what you do, because I know that if I ask you, have you discovered your purpose? Some of you will say yes, I know. And it's true, some of you already know your purpose. But purpose is not just about what you do. What? It's not just about what you do. It's about why. Why you do it. Purpose is not just about what you do. It's about why you do it. So if I ask you, have you discovered your purpose? It's the same thing as saying, have you discovered your why? A preacher once said that there are 2 days in the life of a man and a woman. There are 2 days that are two very important days in the life of any human being. There are 2 days, 2 important days in the life of any human being. The day you were born and the day you discover why. Okay, so like I said before the network started misbehaving, is that a popular preacher said there are 2 important days in the life of a human being. The day you were born and the day you discover why. The day you were born and the day you discover why. So it's important for us to understand our why. It's important for you to understand your why. Your purpose is the deepest reason for your life, for your existence. Your purpose is that thing that's in between, you know, that thing that's between your passion, your pain, your gift, and for the sake of this session, your community's need. That's your purpose. Your passion, your pain, your gain, your gifts, your talents, your skills, and your community needs. Now, let me ask you, what comes to you naturally? What comes to you naturally? Because purpose is something that you have to look deep down. Like I said before, purpose most times does not wait for you to discover it. It only waits for you to uncover it. And most times it is covered under something. Something like your academic qualifications. It covers under your job. It covers under your achievements. It covers under maybe your marriage, or name it. It covers even under your assets. So a lot of times, because these things cover this, your purpose, you're not able to quickly understand it until you uncover all of these things. Where your purpose was covered, you will not know what your purpose is. So you ask yourself, what comes naturally to me beyond my qualifications, beyond my marriage, beyond my achievements, beyond whatever it is? Not answer. Okay. Beyond whatever it is that you're doing, what comes naturally to you? This part of this conversation is something that, well, you see, if you've not discovered your purpose, or if you've not uncovered your purpose, you really need to pay attention. It might not take this moment. Maybe after this session, you're going to go back into yourself and ask yourself some questions. And that is why I'm giving you 4 questions to ask yourself. If you're able to answer those questions, look beyond your title, look beyond your qualifications, look beyond everything. If they strip you of that job, if they strip you of your marriage, if they strip you of your achievements, if they strip you of that car, if they strip you of everything that you have, even your family name, if they strip you of everything and you're only left with yourself and your name, no title, who are you? So I'm going to ask you 4 questions. Take note of these questions. I forgot to mention earlier, pick a note, we call it jotter, memo, something plain like this. Pick it up. Something plain. Pick it up. Pick a pen or marker, or if you have a flip chart like this, plain flip chart. This one I'm using something because I want to show you what I've written here later in the session. Pick it up. You're going to need it because these questions I'm going to ask you, you should jot it down. You may not be able to answer these questions now, but after this session, you'll be able to answer these questions. The 4 questions: what comes naturally to you? 1. Secondly, what pain have you survived that you don't want others to go through it? What pain have you survived that you don't want other people to go through it? The number 3 questions. What breaks your heart and how can you be part of the solution? What breaks your heart and how can you be part of the solution? Remember that to live a life of impact means that you're a solution to problems or you're a solution to a problem. Because it's either you're a solution to a problem or you're a problem yourself. But to live a life of impact, you don't have to be a problem. You have to be a solution. You have to be a solution carrier. You got that? So, what breaks your heart and how can you be part of the solution? The final question is, what conversations do people come to you for? What are those conversations that people naturally come to you for? Those are the 4 questions. I'm going to take the questions again. Please jot it down on your paper or on a flip chart if you have. What comes naturally to you? What pain have you survived that you don't want others to go through it? What breaks your heart and how can you be part of the solution? What conversations do people always come to you for? These are the 4 questions that you need to answer honestly. If you answer these questions honestly, you are on the path of uncovering your purpose. Purpose leaves clues, and these clues guide you to your highest purpose. If you pay attention to the clues around you, if you pay attention to the things that happen around you, these things don't just randomly happen. They are giving you clue to what your purpose is. When you've uncovered or discovered your purpose, the next thing is to, because you're talking about giving back to a community, right? The next thing is for you to identify your community need in line with your purpose. Identify your community need in line with your purpose. Let me tell you something very important to me. It's very personal. I founded the Bakassi International Fish Festival not because I had a perfect plan. I started it because I saw a need in my community. And I knew that my purpose had to respond to that need. I knew that my purpose had to respond to that need because I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to single myself out as part of the solution. You remember the questions I asked you. Remember that you're going to honestly answer those questions. And so when you're able to discover that purpose, even the smallest thing you do becomes impactful. When you've discovered or uncovered your purpose based on, these natural things that happen around you, the clues, the smallest thing you do will be impactful because you're doing it out of purpose. You're also doing it out of a need. Remember I said, when you've discovered or uncovered your purpose, you connect it to your community need. When I founded the festival, it wasn't a perfect plan yet. As we progressed, it was beginning to unveil itself in line with my purpose. I'm going to show you something that I did 15 years ago and how it helped me to even do the festival now when I didn't even dream of the festival then. So when you discover your purpose, connecting it to your community will be very easy because you're now doing that thing out of your core. You're doing it out of the inside, like you're doing it out of your belly. Nobody's forcing you to do it. You're doing it. It's something that even if they wake you up from sleep, you can do it. So when you build from purpose, even the smallest thing you do becomes impactful. When you align your purpose with your community's need, that lasts a lifetime. I'm going to give you an assignment. Like I said, pick up a plain notes like this. Pick up a pen or a marker. Pick up a flip chart if you have. But what I just need is that you have a pad, a notepad where you're... Sorry, the network has been uneasy for me. Okay, so don't forget to drop your location wherever you're watching from. Let's know where you're watching from. Okay, so I said I'm going to give you an assignment before the network interrupted us. I said I'm going to give you an assignment. Are you ready? These assignments, you can always share the responses to me via DM or come on this live. This live is going to last for just 30 days, after which it will be taken down because of the new Facebook policy. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and this is your assignment. 1. What is one thing that you've always loved doing, even if nobody pays you? 2. What pain have you gone through that you don't want others to go through? 3. If you had unlimited resources and time, what problem would you solve? These questions are connected to the other ones that I asked you before. But this one, I want you to take it as an assignment. You can share it with me in the DM. You can share it with me anytime. But these 3 questions are things that I want you to pay attention to and take it very seriously as your assignment. I'm going to repeat the 3 questions. What is that one thing that you've always loved doing, even without pay? What pain have you been through that you do not want others to suffer or go through it? And finally, if you had unlimited time and resources, what problem would you want to solve? What problem would you solve? Now, before we end the module 1, I want to share with you 5 ways to discover or uncover yourself. I always love to share this, and I've had this principle for the past, I think, 7 years or so. I've shared this on different fora, I've shared this on different platforms, and I would love to share it here again before we move on to module 2. I've given you questions where, if you're able to answer those questions honestly, you'll be on the path of a purposeful living. So these 5 questions will help you uncover yourself, discover yourself. Doesn't matter who you are right now, it doesn't matter what you're doing right now, but if you're able to connect these things I'm going to share with you, it will help you move from where you are now to where you want to be. The first question is, who are you? It's about your identity. It's about your identity. The second question is a question about your heritage. Where are you from? It's not where you're from. It's not about being a Cross-Riverian or a Akwa Ibomite, or you're from Edo or wherever. Your heritage, like I told you before, I shared earlier in this session, that as long as you came from this earth, we have to learn to give back to this earth before we die. Don't die and go back to the earth when you've not given back to this earth. And I shared earlier, and I told you that it's very spiritual. And I don't want to go into spiritual conversations in this session. Give back to the earth before you go back to the earth. Give back to the earth before you go back to the earth. So where you're from is not where you like your state or your country, because that's really going to limit you. Your purpose is unlimited. Your purpose is not something that will box you. Your purpose is not something that if you're not here, it will not happen. Your purpose is universal. So when you begin to think of that universality, English is hard, of your purpose, it will help you to be stabilized. So that you don't say, it's because I'm not in my village, that's why I'm not fulfilling purpose. Nah. Or you say, it's because I'm not in my country, that's why I'm not fulfilling purpose. That Bible Joseph was not in his country when he fulfilled purpose. He was sold into slavery. In fact, he was a slave in another person's country, but he fulfilled purpose. So purpose is not something that will box you into a location, box you into a place. If you're not here, you're not. So the first question is, who are you? Identity. The second question is, where are you from? Heritage. The third question is, what do you have? Your resources. I'm writing. I'm jotting. I'm writing also as I'm talking to you. It's very important. Spiritual talks. What do you have? Remember Moses? Remember Bible story? The Moses in that Bible story. It was time for him to move from where he was with his followers to where he should be. And what happened? God asked him a question. What do you have in your hands? Of course, because our hands were made to do something. So our purpose will require our hands to do something, right? So God asked him, what do you have in your hands? So I'm asking you, as part of the questions, to help you uncover your purpose. What do you have in your hands? Your resources. And if you had purchased my latest ebook, How to Launch Your Give Back Project, you discover that I mentioned something related to how to use your resources, how to use the resources that you have, how to use what you have now to get what you want, right? So the first question is, what can you do with what you have? Moses had the rod, but he did not know that that rod could part the sea. God had to ask him, what do you have? When he mentioned what he had, when he answered that question, God told him what to use that rod for. A lot of us, we have so much that we are not using. A lot of us, we have something in our hands that we are not putting to use. There's a particular quote I love to use whenever I'm talking about this subject. It says, the world economy does not pay you for what you have or what you know. Google knows everything. The world economy pays you for what you can do with what you have and what you know, and that makes a big difference. I've forgotten who exactly made that quote, but it's been a very popular quote around me. It's a woman who made that quote, and I'm sure in this era of AI, I would paraphrase, I would edit part of that quote and say, the world economy does not pay you for what you have and what you know. AI has everything. Google knows everything. The world economy pays you for what you can do with what you have, and that makes a big difference. So what do you have in your hand, and what can you do with what you have? And then the last question is, where are you going? Where are you going? It's a question about your destiny, your destination, your journey. Purpose is a journey. Purpose is a journey. It's not a particular location. It's not a destination where you say, I have arrived. what I'm sharing with you now as CEOs, I'm also sharing with bigger CEOs, right? I'm also sharing with people on a different level, because at every point in our lives we have to ask ourselves questions again and again. Who am I? Where am I from? What do I have? Where am I going? At every point in our lives, we must keep asking ourselves these questions. And with these 5 questions, okay, network is crazy, but we keep going. Thank you very much for your responses. I can see possible. Wale Adeyemi, Opeyemi Bola, thank you very much. I can see your responses. Yes, and the world economy pays you for what you can do with what you have and what you know. Interesting. Yes, the world economy does not pay you for what you have and what you know. It pays you for what you can do with what you have and what you know. That makes the difference. Okay, so we are rounding off module 1 with one activity, and that's why I have my board here with me, because I want to show you something. You may not see everything that's here, but I'm just going to explain. After you've discovered or uncovered your purpose, the next thing for you to do as a purpose-driven person, as a purpose-driven individual, is to write your purpose statement. I'm going to share this with you. How many years now from 2009? How many years now? How many years now? About 15 years or so. But in 2009 was when I wrote my first purpose statement. And what is purpose statement? It's a 1 sentence about your purpose, what you stand for, and what you stand for, and how you can serve the world. That's your purpose. If you summarize all of those 5 questions, the summary is on 2 sides, on 2 things, just like the 10 commandments are on 2 sides, the God part and the man part, right? So your purpose, after summarizing those 5 questions, your answers, they're on 2 parts, 2 complementary parts. The first is what you stand for, who you are, and the other part is how you're serving the world, right? So I'm going to challenge you to write your purpose statement now, not like in this live session, right? But take it home as part of your assignments. I've given you plenty of assignments. That's because I want you to go back to do something. I don't want our conversation or this training to just end in the live session. I want it to be a continuous thing, because like I said earlier, I think I'll be doing a lot of live sessions, because I discovered that I can actually be doing live session and then create time to do live session and then get to do other things. I used to be very scared of putting up time to do all of this. Okay, so write your purpose statement. Purpose statement. So this is what I wrote 15 years ago. I don't know if you can see. I want you to see this, because I want to be reading along. 15 years ago, I wrote this purpose statement. What did I say my purpose statement is? It's like company's mission and vision statement, right? I said, I live with the vision to improve human usefulness through capacity building and mentoring. Mind you, I'm not editing anything, because I wrote it just as I wrote it 15 years ago and how I used to think 15 years ago. Hello, like I told you before that Purpose leaves clues. Success leaves clues. Excellence leaves clues. Your life leaves clues. There's a pattern. Things don't happen to you randomly. You don't think about things randomly. Your life is not a random act. It's not a random system. It's not a random occurrence. Right? 15 years ago, this was how I used to think. And I wrote this based on how I used to think, because you cannot grow beyond your level of thinking. You cannot grow beyond what you think. 15 years ago, I wrote this. And I said, I live with the vision to improve human usefulness through capacity building and mentoring. Now, tell me, if you've known me for the past how many years, even yesterday, tell me if this is not part of what I've been doing. Even with the Fish Festival project that I do, this was my kind of watchword, even without reading it. So I challenge you, write down your purpose statement. Something that you can put under your pillow, paste around your bed, put it everywhere so that it sticks. And if as you grow, there's need to edit it, go ahead. Like this one now, because of how I now think, this is not invalid though. This is still very valuable to me. But because of how I think, what I have done now is just to remove this human usefulness, because I mean, the way I now think, I feel that this human usefulness thing it's kind of, I don't know, it's somehow, but even if I don't edit it, this is still part of how I live. And so, I have not edited it. The way I wrote it 15 years ago is the way I'm reading to you now. I had to write it exactly the same way. And it's been a statement that even when you wake me up from sleep, I'll tell you. I challenge you now. Go and write your purpose statement. It is your purpose statement that will guide you along. So that even you read a portion in the Bible, you read a verse, you connect it with your purpose. You're sleeping, you connect it with your purpose. You're eating, you connect with your purpose. Your relationships, you connect with your purpose. You're dressing, you connect with your purpose. Hello? Something happened on social media some days ago, and somebody wrote in the comments, you dress the way you want to be addressed. She didn't say anything else. She just said, you dress the way you want to be addressed. And people read lots of meaning to it because of the post, the picture that was, on that post where she commented. The picture on that post had a lady on a sleeveless top and, I don't know, like leggings. She wore that to a public place, like to a training center, and posted a picture of herself on that outfit going for a training that had hundreds of people. And somebody just wrote there, you dress the way you want to be addressed. And the comment, the thread was explosive. So even the way you dress connects with your purpose, who you are. The way you talk to people connects with who you are. Whatever it is, you may not know where this leads you until maybe 15 years later, like today, you now realize, all this while I've been living exactly according to this. So this is the end of module 1. I challenge you in this module 1. Answer those questions that I shared with you earlier. Those questions are somewhere here. I wrote them down, but I mentioned it to you so that I mentioned it here so that you can jot it down and go ahead. That's the end of module 1. If we were to have a physical class, I would have said, do you have questions? Raise your hands. And I will invite you. But in this digital space, you can still drop your questions. If we were to be in Google Meet, I would have said, raise your hand as well, your digital hand. But here, you can drop your questions and I'll reply. Let me be sure that I'm talking to you guys. Got questions? I will answer your questions. We're moving to module 2. We don't have to take so much time in each module. I want us to cover these 5 modules here. We'll cover it. So we are going to module 2. Do you have any question? Feel free to drop your question. Module 2. When we started, I told you how these different modules, the titles for all of these different modules. Okay, there's a question on this side. There's no question here. There's a question on this side. The question says, is there age limit for when to discover purpose? Oh, no. Remember I said earlier that no. I said earlier that purpose is not a destination. Purpose is not a location. Like, purpose is not fixed. It's not fixed. Purpose is a journey. It doesn't matter when you started. Even if you're 15 now listening to me, or you're 50 now listening to me, all of these things that I've shared with you, you can apply them immediately and you see the difference in your life. Discovering purpose does not have age limits. Whatever you have learned in the past, whatever you're also going to learn in the future, they don't even interfere in who you are, because it's natural. Like, you were born like that. The Bible says, God told Jeremiah, before you were born, before you were formed, I had known you, and I'd appointed you as a prophet. All of us came with our different purposes. So whatever happens around us still leads us to our purpose. Remember Joseph. Everything that happened to him led him to his purpose. Remember Jesus. Everything that happened to him led him to his purpose. God had promised that, if you read Bible very well and you have understanding of Bible prophecy, Jesus came from the tribe of Judah. A prophecy something that has been spoken of hundreds of years before. So it does not matter at what age. It doesn't matter at what age. So yes. So no. Purpose does not have age limits. Any question? All right. So we move on to module 2. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for your comments. Who is this person? Okay. Mr. Christian, thank you for the comments. You said we should move on when we have questions as the questions come, we will drop. Okay, this other person is saying, who is this? Mfoniso. Is that Mr. or Miss Mfoniso? Or Mrs. Mfoniso? Yeah, Mfoniso says that she has plenty questions, but she will come to my DM. No problem, my DM is open. Alright, so we'll move on to module 2. Strategy for service. Turning purpose into projects. Strategy for service. Turning purpose into projects. I shared earlier that when you've been able to uncover or discover your purpose, it will be very easy for you to connect your community needs to your purpose, so that whatever thing you're doing for your community, whatever thing you're doing for the world, will be out of your core, out of your inside. Nobody's going to force you to do it. Even if nobody pays you, you're still doing it. So how do you turn purpose into projects? Some of us may not have basic knowledge of project management, but for the sake of this session, I'm just going to share a little stuff with you about project management. A project is something that has a specific timeline, has specific result or outcome, and yeah, as long as it has timeline, has specific results or outcome, that's the project. And to be able to achieve this timeline and the results, there are some things that are involved: resources, human resources, material resources. A lot of other things are involved: consultations, stakeholder engagements, and all of that. But in all of this, to be able to achieve a project, you must start from somewhere and end somewhere, because it has a timeline, remember, and it has outcomes, results. So you have the planning phase, the brainstorming phase, the initial phase, initiating phase, you have the implementation phase, you have maybe the execution phase, and then you have the closing phase. Some projects have the monitoring phase before the closing phase. But whatever kind of project that you're doing, you just have to bear it in mind that first you have your timeline, and then next you have outcomes. So how do you now turn your purpose into project? Now that you've identified your purpose, it's time to now turn that purpose into service. And you can only do this through a strategy. Purpose without a plan is just potential waiting to expire. So in this particular model, I'm going to show you how to strategically design simple projects that can create real change without needing millions, without fame, without political connections, without think of any limitation. So in this module, that's what you learn. Okay. If you have questions, you can share them or drop them in my DM. I'll respond to them. So we are going into purpose-driven projects now. A purpose-driven project is any action or activity or idea that you design to meet your community need based on your strengths, your passion, your purpose. Remember that I said earlier, if you are able to identify your purpose, connect with your purpose. Connecting with your community need to be very easy because it comes from your core. So that purpose-driven project can be small, can be as small as teaching digital skills to maybe young girls in your church. It could be as small as organizing maybe a feed a soul day on your birthday. It can be as big as hosting a community-wide health awareness program. Like currently, I've been seeing Possible Wale Adewumi. I've been seeing her I think stuff about hepatitis awareness or something. So your purpose-driven project can be as big as that. Can be as big as organizing a back-to-school project for students or pupils in your community. It can be small, it can be big, it can be medium, whatever it is. But you know that it's a project. You won't be able to achieve all of this without putting a strategy. So first, what's that strategy to put in place? Auditing your community audit. Audit your community, because you cannot serve people you have not studied. Audit your community. You cannot serve people you have not studied. And I'm going to share with you 4 steps on how to audit your community. 4 steps on how to audit your community. 1. Okay, there's a question here. I'm going to respond to your question after this module. Let me pin it. Thank you. All right. I'm going to share with you 4 simple steps on how to audit your community. Number 1, look around you. Look around you. What are your people complaining about? What are they lacking? What are their recurring problems? Some weeks ago, I shared on my Facebook timeline, shared on my page, how in 2017, like 8 years ago, there was a road that leads to my community that was very bad. It was so bad, even bikes were drowning. Drivers really suffered because their vehicles were getting bad after every trip. And there was a diversion that was very risky too, and bad as well. Because I had media exposure, because like going into the media was not my plan. It was because of my community need. I had to venture into the media. So because of my media exposure, because of that exposure, I reached out to my team. I said, we have to cover this news for me. This is really terrible. So one of those market days, on a Monday, it was a market day, I went there with camera, went with one of my colleagues who was my senior in the media system. We went there, we covered that place, did a video. Then social media wasn't like, I wasn't really using social media like now then. So I did the video, did pictures, and just posted it on my Facebook timeline, and then did a story that was published on that media space. If you're in Cross River State, you know Cross River Watch. I posted, Cross River Watch posted that, published it and shared. I posted on my Facebook page. I did not really make too much noise because then social media I didn't really use it like now. My community, most of the women in the community said, because I was trying to interview people to say, okay, talk about this road, how it has affected your business, and all. Very few people responded because to them they felt, you don't collect money chop, you won't come, they interview us, that kind of a thing. But I did not listen to that. I had to look around to know what my community was complaining about, because most times they will complain about these things and do not want the media to even hear, because a lot of people feel like there's this fear that there's no freedom, there's no press freedom. So a lot of people are afraid of sharing their community need, even when those things are biting them. But for you as a purpose-driven person, you know how to weave the story. I'm going to tell you about storytelling later. You know how to respond to those needs, even when you don't put them at the risk of, even if you don't put them at the risk of media exposure, because some of them don't want to be seen, they don't want to be heard. Sometimes they want to, they'll plead anonymous. They don't want anybody to know that this is what they want for their communities, but you're not going to listen to them. You're not going to listen to that. All what you want to do is to solve a problem. So look around you, ask, study the environment. Sometimes you don't even need to ask them, since a lot of times they don't even want to respond. Number 2, ask real questions. Talk to community members, especially local leaders, youth, women, elders. Talk to them. Don't assume, just listen. Like I said, study. You don't even need to start asking questions at the point. But when you want to ask questions, ask strategic people. Ask strategic questions too. Ask the leaders, focal group leaders, local leaders, traditional leaders, business leaders, not random people, because like I said, they were accusing me of chopping money when I was just doing it to help my community. So talk to community leaders, youth leaders, women leaders, elders, village heads. Talk to them. They're the ones who will open. And sometimes you don't just open up camera on them. That's one thing. You just open up camera on them because they'll feel you're trying to use them. Number 3 thing, look for alignment. Look for alignment with your purpose. Which of these problems can your skills or expertise solve? Remember I said, because I had media exposure, I had to use that media exposure to do this for the community. If I did not have media exposure, I would have been looking for media platforms to publish, media platforms to come and cover. It might cost me much because I'm not in that field, and I might have made mistakes. But because I was in the field of media, it was easier for me to quickly, deploy my resources, deploy my connections, deploy everything that I had. It did not cost. The only thing that cost me then was transportation, right? Because every other thing I had them, at my arsenal. So the last one is pick one area to start. Because of the fact that my limited resources then, I will not go and start constructing the road, because I don't have such resources. So what did I do? I deployed my media exposure, and after that news went out, it's not even now that things are viral anyhow on social media. If it were now, if I don't go viral, and remember I said I didn't really use social media then. I just posted it and said this is my community. I didn't emphasize and share and all of that. It wasn't like that then. But the little we did drew government attention, even to Abuja, even to the Federal Capital Territory. It wasn't up to a month there was response. On the publication on that website, on the news website, there was a comment, and that we should reach out to so person, that. But it wasn't up to 1 month. I'm not saying we called people to come and repair the road. We used the media to say, government, this is what is happening, relevant authorities, this is what's happening in our Bakassi road, we need intervention. We did not tell them, come and fix this road tomorrow. We did not give them tomorrow, come and fix. If not, we didn't. I just used media platform to advocate for that road to be fixed. And it wasn't up to a month. People saw difference. They deployed equipment immediately. People started coming to survey the entire place and all of that. I was where I was. They started calling me, they're fixing this road, in my language you say mbrembre, tembre, like play. They don't come, that's the way you do. Don't make sense, so they're fixing the road. And me, I was excited, I was happy. I said, ooh, interesting. When they are done fixing the road, let me know, so that I'll come and take photos and let people see, that something has been done. And I went. The day I went, I saw some of the, construction team and all of that. I saw somebody and I interviewed. I think I still have the person's phone number because I collected and appreciated them. Took photos and updated social media space that that road has been fixed and all of that. So pick one area to start. I started with media advocacy and the road was fixed. So what area do you want to start with? And I've been talking, Facebook people, drop comments and let me know that getting fire. Drop comments, drop likes, drop emoji, drop something. Let me know that I'm not talking to myself. Facebook people, I don't want to talk to myself. Facebook people hearing me. I'm seeing comments and fire emojis from this side, but Facebook people are not showing me love. Show me love or drop something. Let me know. Okay, so audit your community. That's one strategy to use. So if your purpose is helping people find identity and confidence, and your community has a lot of young girls out of school, your project could be mentoring sessions using stories and skills. Very simple, very strategic. Very simple, very strategic. The next strategy is the 4W framework, the 4W model or framework. Now, this is how to use the 4W model. When you're, like I said, you need strategy. The first is community audit. The second is the 4W model I'm sharing with you now. This 4W model will shape your idea. It will connect your purpose and your community need faster. What is this 4W model? For those of you in business or marketing, you already know what the 4W means. The why, the who, the what, the where, or when. First, what's the purpose behind your project? Example, if you're helping single mothers learn a skill, that's your why. You're helping single mothers learn a skill. Who exactly are you helping? Single mothers, right? What will you do? One-day workshop for single mothers. Monthly training session for single mothers. When and where are you doing this? I'm using social media, or I go to one community, from one community to another. But what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You're helping single mothers learn a skill. Right? You understand? So this 4W model will help you connect your purpose and your community need after auditing faster. That's the next strategy, the 4W model. Why are you doing this? Who are you serving? What are you doing? When and where will it happen? The 4W model. I'm sure you got it. If you got it, Facebook will drop a comment. Let me know that you got what I shared. Don't kill my morale. It's only here that I'm getting fire emojis, love emojis. I don't want to shout plenty. Facebook people, do something, okay? Now, when you've done your community audit and you connect with the framework I've just shared, you have a very solid strategy to turn your purpose into project, and that's for module 2. Okay, there's a document that I shared with people in a particular training, and that document has 100 sample community projects anyone can choose from. 100 sample community projects anyone can choose from. And I think I should bring back that resource. I should bring it back. If I bring it back, would you buy it? 100 sample community projects. I'm saying yes here. Thank you. Facebook people, if I bring 100 sample community projects anyone can start from, excuse me, would you buy? Would you get it? It won't be free. I've been doing free stuff for you guys for too long. It won't be free. If I bring it back, would you buy? Okay, so I want to give you assignments. You remember I told you to get a memo, like this, plain memo, or a flip chart, plain flip chart, and get a pen or a marker, that I'll be giving you assignments, and you'll be needing these things to jot it down and to respond later. So I'm going to give you assignments. So open that your journal, open that your flip chart. Drafts. You're going to draft your first project idea. Okay? So I'm going to ask you these 4 questions. You don't have to be perfect, Don't worry if it's not perfect. Just write it, think through it, and then we can refine it if you share with me in the DM. Your assignment is to draft your first project idea. And I'm going to ask you 4 questions. With these 4 questions, you'll be able to do something. The first is, what's your purpose? What's your purpose? Remember we did this in module 1. Next, what's one community problem you care about? What's one community problem rather? What's one community problem you care about? Remember, if you have started with me to this point, you'll be able to know what I'm talking about. What's a simple solution you can offer? Remember, I told you that you have to be a solution, not the problem. Hey, there's one song that is coming to my mind now. That song says, don't laugh as I'm singing the song. Don't look down on me. Don't look down on me. Don't look down on me. Because I'm a solution to someone's problem. I hope I got that song right. It's a song that it's a song that I heard somewhere and it just made me laugh, smile. Okay, so your assignment is to draft your first project idea. And I'm going to share these 4 questions to help you draft your first project idea. Number 1, what's your purpose? Number 2, what's one community problem you care about? Number 3, what's a simple solution you can offer within 1 month? A simple solution you can offer within 1 month. And number 4, what do you already have? Could be people, could be affiliations, could be platforms, could be skills, it could be space. What do you already have? Like I said, don't worry, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Just write it down. So, before I move to the next module, I want you to remember something. You don't have to wait for anyone. You don't have to wait for the government. You don't have to wait for everything to come into the basket for you. You are the strategy your community has been waiting for. So, like I used to share on my weekly faith-based conversation. I said, you're the salt, you're the light. You're the salt that will savour your community, your community. You're the light that will shine through your community in times of darkness. So with your clear purpose and a simple project plan, like I've shared, you've already started your impact. You've already created impact. I shared earlier that if you discover your purpose or uncover your purpose and you connect it with community need, very little thing you do will spark impact. So you're moving on to module 3. As I move on to module 3, let me share this with you. You can invite me to speak on these things and other kind of conversations. You can invite me to your church. You can invite me to your seminars. You can invite me as a keynote speaker. You can invite me to your school. You can invite me to any forum that you know that purpose-driven individuals are seated and are ready to listen to purpose-driven conversations. We're moving on to module 3, and I want you, If you did not get your journal, go and get your journal, because you still need that journal in module 3. Okay? You need journaling. You need this journal in module 3 again. Because talk is cheap, man. Naturally, I don't like to talk plenty. Talk is cheap. Because you talk and talk and talk without any action, it's just useless. Talk from now to tomorrow. If you don't add action to it, it's just useless. Facebook people, am I getting any reaction? I'm not seeing your reactions, man. I'm just watching and you're not vibing me up. Ginger me small. Okay, guys. So module 3, sustaining impact. How to fund and fuel your community projects. This is where wahala dey, because a lot of times we have people who have so much ideas, but they're not able to fuel it. They're not able to fund it. You see people writing letters upon letters, going to people's houses, sending DMs, trying to raise funds. I've been there, and I'm still there, because the festival needs lots of money, and I'm in the faces of my sponsors again. We need money. This is where projects, purpose-driven projects, die. When there's no sustainability strategy. And that's why I used to tell people, hustle, make money, so that when you want to do your community project, you don't cancel it 24 hours to the project because there was no money. That's very bad. That's not how purpose-driven individuals behave. So we are going to share sustainability strategy, how to fund and fuel your community projects. Giving back can become draining. Giving back can be draining, especially if it's not backed by a clear strategy for sustainability. So in this module, I'm going to teach you how to fund your ideas without begging anybody, how to attract support and partnerships, how to avoid burnout while you're trying to do good. You say, I'm doing good though, but nobody's supporting me. Put strategy in place. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. Raise funds, how to attract support, how to avoid going broke, how to avoid being burned out. You don't just need to start projects, you need to start sustaining impact. Okay, so let's start with this. Passion alone is not enough. I'll see young people, especially young people, because as you grow, we learn lessons. Burning with fire, burning with passion. But fire without fuel burns out very fast. I hope you know. Fire without fuel burns out very fast. So while that your passion is burning, while that your fire is burning, put strategy in place, sustainability strategy, so that it will keep burning, 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 burning until the perfect day. There's a hymn, I love hymns a lot. There's a hymn that says, let every lamp be burning, and then be burning bright, until the break of day. Until the break of day. Okay, give me oil in my lamp and let it burn until the break of day. Remember the 10 virgin story in the Bible? 5 foolish virgins and 5 wise virgins. The ones who were foolish were simply the ones who did not have their lamps burning until the breaking of the day. Until the break of day. Simple. So you'll be a foolish giver if your fire burns out before the break of day. You be a foolish, passionate young person if your fire burns out until before the break of day. So get your passion in place. Get your fire in place by putting up some sustainability strategy. So for your community, for your give back project, you need to plan for resources, energy, time, partnerships, systems. Should I repeat that? You need to plan for resources, time, partnerships, energy, systems. You need to plan for this. Your impact must have a structure. If not, it will collapse. Your impact must have structure. If not, it will collapse. So I'm going to share with you 4 sustainable paths to sustaining your work while you grow personally and while you also grow your finances. As you're growing as you're growing on how to give back to your community, maybe your project is quarterly or annually or whatever, I'm going to share with you 4 sustainable paths that you can take. The number 1 is monetized impact. You can turn your impact into a business model. For instance, you can still give back and still make money. Amen. Amen. You can still make money from that your give back project. Amen. Amen. Somebody say, so you were doing this to cash out. If it is, you run now. I want you cash out. There's something called social enterprise. You must not register an NGO to give back. You can do social enterprise such that you're allowed to make money while giving back, because like schools are registered as incorporated trustees because they believe that it's giving back. But as schools don't making money, churches are registered as NGOs. But are they not making money? Be truthful. Are they not making money? They're making money. But they're registered as NGOs, right? We don't want to flout the NGO policies because NGOs are supposed not to be making profits. It's not for profit organization. Non-for-profit, non-governmental and all. So you're not supposed to be making profits. But churches make profits. They have income expenses and they have balance at the end of the month. And most times the balance is a lot that can buy a private jet. Schools are making money, right? So why can't your own give back project make money too? So I'm going to give you 4 sustainable paths. It's because I mentioned monetized impact. Somebody here laughed. That's why I'm sharing this. Why are you laughing? So number 1 is monetized impact. Turn that your give back project, that your impact, that your passion into a business model. For instance, you can charge small participation fee. Not much. Even church will say the little you give is enough. There's no amount that is too small. There's no amount that is too big. But you know that there are people in that same church that 1,000 is too big for them. And 10,000 is too small. And another group, 10,000 is too small for them. So you can charge small participation fee. You can set up a donation box for every of your give back projects. And you say, this project we are doing, you want to be doing more. There's a donation box, please support. People will donate. in your community, in your neighborhood, whatever it is. You can sell branded products like t-shirts, like merches, like face cap, bangles, beads, like whatever, like this kind of t-shirts. You can sell. You can even sell fabrics if you're making them locally, like the is it Adire? Yeah. So you can sell branded products. You can offer premium training or offer to speak at a fee. So if you invite me to speak to your audience, to your people about a certain thing, a certain topic, you don't expect me to come and I'm not paid. If you invite me to come and talk to your team about planning a festival like the Fish Festival, you don't expect me to come and I'm not paid. You don't expect me to come and I'm not paid. Alright? So you can offer premium trainings, premium speaking engagements. I'm just giving you an example, but the idea is that you monetize your impact. Number 2, get sponsorship and partners. Get sponsors and partners. In my give back project, I have partners, I have sponsors. The government is partnering with us. Brands, private organizations are partnering. Businesses are partnering, and all of that. So partner with NGOs, partner with local businesses, partner with churches, partner with schools, depending on what your give back project is. Approach brands that align with your message. For instance, if you're teaching single mothers skills, if you're helping single mothers to learn skills, teach them. If you're helping single mothers to learn skills and you're organizing trainings, maybe monthly or quarterly or something, you can approach organizations that are in line with what single mothers do, right? For instance, you can align with a tech brand to help teach the skills, so you don't have to pay people to teach. You use a tech brand to teach them. You can align with a fashion brand, because single mothers, of course, one of the brands that will sell for them is fashion. A fashion brand can sponsor, because as they come and they see the fashion brand, they will identify with it and become their customers tomorrow. So it's a platform for them to make money as well. You can partner with even a food brand. If they're learning skills, they might also want to learn cooking skills, and this food brand could sponsor. So I'm just giving an example, right? Number 3, get grants and support funding. There's so many websites on the internet that you can go and get grants for your project. And I'm going to share with you a list of websites for global opportunities. I'm going to share with you that as we close for module 3. Number 4, set personal capacity and boundaries. Your energy is also a resource. Don't do everything. Don't fund everything. Set a calendar. Have team support. Even Jesus had 12 disciples. So build your own circle. Build your team. Build yourself too. So let me quickly share this toolkit with you before we round off module 3 and we go into module 4. Your sustainable project toolkit. Let me share that with you before we go. Like I said, you need this memo, this jotter again. I'm going to share these 4 questions with you. You use that your journal. I'm calling it journal now, whether it's a flip chart or it's a memo. You're going to use it to provide answers to these questions. The first, How will this project fund itself after launch? After I launched the Fish Festival in 2022, I asked myself long before that project, how will it fund itself after the launch year? Because the launch year you may have lots of more support than the second year if you do not plan well. Because the people who came in the first edition, they'll bring money in. The second year, they expect that you've already gotten money somewhere or something. So some persons, individuals especially, may say, we've helped you to start now, yeah, continue. So how will this project fund itself after launch? Number 2, who can support this vision? List the people that can support. What project, service, or platform can grow this, can grow from this project? What are those products or service, platform, or something that can grow from this project? For instance, if you're helping single mothers to learn skills, what is that product or service that can grow from there? It can become a tech clarity brand, a brand that helps people get clarity for their tech journeys. If you're helping them learn tech skills, if you're helping the single mothers learn skills generally, you can become skills factory brand, right? Where people come to learn skills, and then when it's time to give back to the single women, you conveniently just give back without demanding so much. By then you've put a product and service together that's helping you make money to get better space, better everything. And then finally, what role will you play in the long term? What role do you want to play in the long term? So this will help you build your team, build your circle. Like I said, even Jesus had 12 disciples. Jesus, so he did not do everything alone. So let me tell you something from my own experience. When I started the Fish Festival project, first it was all passion. But I had to learn how to bring in partners. I had to learn how to attract the media. I had to learn how to turn it into an annual and recognized event. I had to learn how to keep it alive. I had to learn how to build my team to be able to push this project even when I'm not physically present. Like in 2024, last year, I was not physically present, but the festival, I was I just came and attended the festival, but it helped. So that's sustainability. Building systems so that your vision lives beyond your presence. So I've done that, and network, it is well. Okay, so just to round off what we were doing in module 3 as I move into module 4 before the network interrupted. So yes, so you, like I said, even Jesus had disciples. So what you're doing is not just an event, it's not just give back. It's a generational transformation, because as you move on and keep doing it every quarter, every month, every year, every week, or whatever your kind of give back project is, you're growing people, you're leaving legacy, it should be able to fund itself. Okay, so we're moving into module 4, and I'm going to teach you how to grow your brand around your impact. I'm going to also teach you how to build visibility. I'm also going to teach you how to build credibility and influence around what you're doing without losing your essence. Okay, so in module 4, let's go straight up to module 4. Remember, you have all the assignments. You have assignments. You have assignments. You have assignments. You have assignments. Don't forget to do this assignment. Share with me in the DM. Share with me in the DM. Okay. So module 4. The title for module 4 is Visibility and Influence. Building a brand around your impacts. Building a brand around your impact. Visibility. visibility and influence around your project. Look, in 2018 or so, I started something, this Eat and Learn network. But something happened along the line, and this phrase, immediately, this thing came up to my head, and I started using it randomly. So as I introduced this module 4, immediately that phrase came to my head, and that phrase says, show up strong or not at all. Show up strong. Let me type it. I'm coming. I'll type that too. Show up strong or not at all. Show up strong or not at all. Let me type here. Show up strong. Show up strong or not at all. Visibility and influence. Building a brand around your impact. So what's coming to your mind now? What's coming to your mind about visibility and influence? Building a brand around your impact. If people don't see you, they can't support you. If they can't feel your impact, they won't follow you. So this module is all about how to show up strong and shine, but with intention, of course. Show up strong or not at all. Show up strong or not at all. So in this module, we are going to turn our purpose into platform and message into a strong brand. Let me tell you why you need a personal brand, even if you're not famous, as you begin to launch your give back projects. Personal brand is for everyone. But now that you're learning how to give back to your community, how to live well so you can give back well, you should take it even more seriously. Personal brand will give you credibility. Personal brand will give you visibility. Personal brand will give you access. Personal brand will give you strength. When I started the Fish Festival project, in that first edition, it was beyond my expectation. Like, personally, I did not know that it was going to be like that. Like, we're going to achieve such results, such record. So I had a team member who started, you get. So when we went to start driving for the second edition, he wasn't showing up again. Because in his mind, without him, it wouldn't have been a success. And so when we went to a particular stakeholder and we were discussing, the man asked me, where is this person that was with you last year? I said, I don't know. I've been talking to him and I've been trying to get him to come on board this year, but there were some statements he was making, because it's actually from that community. Like, he's from Bakassi gone. So the man said, does he not know that without him, this project will still move on because of you? I said, sir, how? He said, it's you that's driving this project. I don't want to go into plenty talks, right? But see that personal brand helped me drive the Fish Festival project from the beginning. And it will help you. It can help you to drive whatever project you're doing. Like I said, it's not really about giving back to your community. It's not really about dashing people money and all. It is about living well and giving back well before you go back to the earth. Living well in this world. Giving back to this world before you go back Live well, give back well before you die. Live well, give back well before you buy, right? That's the thing. Don't buy before don't buy without giving back. Don't. Live a life of impact, leave legacy behind. When I see politicians and some business people amassing wealth, and for their mind, they're amassing and hoarding the wealth for their unborn generation, I laugh. What makes you think that your children are interested in that thing you're keeping? Highest they'll do, in fact, some of them, the best they'll do is to sell off your properties and use the money on things that in the next generation, fourth generation after, you don't even see a trace. But you and I, we now know better. Let's live well so we can give back well. I tend to be facing my phone screen more than my Facebook screen more than, but it's fine, we're all together. So your personal brand is not about being popular. Your personal brand is about clarity. That's going to give you credibility. That's going to give you visibility. That's going to give you strength. Very important. Your personal brand tells people what you stand for, who you serve, why your work matters, and why they should join you. So when you have a personal brand, it's easy for people to identify what you stand for and join you in the movement, right? In whatever movement. Yeah. So whether you're building a non-for-profit, a non-profit, whether you're building a business, whether you're building, whatever it is that you're building, your personal brand is that bridge that will connect the dots. So let me share with you the 3V framework for visibility. 3D framework for visibility. Like I said, let me share this before we go ahead. Visibility is not just about social media trend. Visibility is not about going viral on social media. Visibility is, are people seeing what you're doing? Are people seeing you and what you're doing? In your community, does the village head in that community know what you're doing in that village? In your community, does the, depending on the kind of people that you're serving, does the target audience know that this is what you have for them? Visibility is not just about social media. There are people that are not trending on social media, but they're winning grants. I'm going to share with you some websites to always visit. As someone who is giving back, always visit this website to check out for grants, for fellowships, for conferences, because you need all of this to give you visibility, not social media trends. Especially the kind of trends that happen around Nigeria social media is very worrisome, because they're not helping some kind of purpose-driven persons. Like, if you depend on social media trends around Nigeria, you will be lost. You will be lost. Because no value whatsoever. So, visibility is not content creation and going viral. Visibility is, are people seeing what you're... The people that matter, are they seeing what you're doing? And are they getting involved? So I want to share this 3V framework for visibility with you. This will help you get seen and also help grow your personal brand. Number one, it's your voice. What message are you consistently sharing? How do you speak? Do you speak calmly? Do you speak boldly? Do you speak loving? Do you speak truthful? What language does your audience understand? Speak it. It's not just language of whether it's not just this lingua. Like, it's not whether you're speaking Efik, or you're speaking Yoruba, or you're speaking Hausa, or you're speaking Igbo, or you're speaking English. What language does your audience understand? For instance, there's a certain community that if you go to and you want to present a project idea to their elders, or like their village elders, You must bring drink. You must bring cola nut. You must bring what's the other one? One thing like there's some things you have to bring. And in my place they call it monofarotong. Like you have to open their ears with a drink, a bottle of drink. You cannot go to an elder to talk about project you want to bring to their community and you're not doing, you're not speaking their language. It's not about whether it's Efik or Igbo, like traditional. Package and give them so that they open their ears. That's the language you understand and they listen to you. Number 2, I said number 1 is voice. Your voice matters. Speak the language you understand, what message you're passing, and how you speak. Number 2, visuals. Visuals. Let me go back to voice. The language you understand. I talked about community, like the elders. If you're also available on social media, also speak the language your audience will understand. Right? Create content for your audience. You're not seeking virality. You're seeking to lend your voice. You're speaking to promote your voice. Number 2, visuals. Your visuals include your appearance, your status, your colors. If you're into like normal branding, your logo, your fonts. If you're into content creation, your sign outs. If you're into creating content, text content or whatever it is, or you're into your printing bulletins or posters for your projects, all of these things, your visuals. I said earlier that when you're able to discover and uncover your purpose, it will help you in every aspect of your life, including your dressing, your outfits. And it is here that you know who is serious about their personal branding and whatever they want to give back. So your mission is going to influence your outfit, how you dress. So you begin to look like your mission. You're not confused. You're not everywhere. So your visuals include your outfits, your dressing, how you look. So you begin to look like your mission. Begin to look like what you stand for. Let your audience also identify with who you are. Let them identify with what you stand for. Let them be able to convincingly say, this person looks like what I represent. This person looks like what I represent. So if your work is sustainable giving, your visuals must look purposeful. Your visuals must look inspiring. Your visuals must be rooted in community. Number 3, value. I said 3V framework, right? For visibility. Voice, visual, value. Voice, visuals, value. Voice, visuals, value. The 3V framework for visibility. What's the value? What will people gain from following you? Every post, every video, every podcast, everything you say, is it useful? Is it valuable? Do you teach? Do you inspire? Do you motivate? Do you solve problems? What do? You must be value-packed. Your value. Right? Your voice, your visual, your value. It must be valuable. You must not be everywhere. Like I said, if you follow the social media trends in Nigeria, you'll be lost. Because so many things that trend are not valuable. But for you, as a value-driven person, keep doing your, because when someone comes to you, someone should see value. If they cannot see value elsewhere, let them see value with you. All right? So, for visibility, you need a content strategy that works. You need to begin to share contents that show what you believe, that show what you are building, that show what you're solving, and that shows who you're helping. If you're running a community food drive in Calabar, for instance, don't just post, we feed or we fed 100 kids. Tell the story behind what you're doing. For instance, meet Edima. She's 9. Her smile today reminded me why we must keep doing what we're doing. Meet Okon. He is 31. His drive for community impact reminds us why we started what we are doing. Tell stories. Talk about things that will touch the human emotions. For instance, I'm going to share with you later. You need to begin to show up. In this age of social media influence, show up also on social media. Like I said, you're not doing this for popularity. You're doing this for clarity. You're doing this for yourself, for your brand, and for the future. So begin to show up also on social media. Let me share this with you. If Jesus were to be in this world today, he would be on social media. Matthew chapter 5 says, when he went up into the mountain, he went up to the mountain. When he sat down, his disciples, they gathered around him. And he looked down and saw the multitude. And then from that mountain, he began to share the blessed teachings. Blessed are they that this, that this, that this, and all of that. He shared all of those lessons from the mountain where the multitude was, where he knew that from here, if I talk, then go here. Use that same strategy. Where is the multitude now? The multitude now is on social media. But again, you're not doing it because you want to be popular. Jesus didn't do it because he wanted to be popular. It was as he was doing it, because of the value, people were coming to him, and then that time that he wanted to die, so you are the king of the Jews. Let me not go further. I'm not preaching a sermon. I'm not preaching a sermon. Okay? So, you don't have to be everywhere, but just be present where your audience is. Facebook, you can create a community focus, content, storytelling. You can go on Instagram if you're good with visuals, reels, short messages that are impactful. You can go on YouTube for deep teaching, interviews, and for your podcast, LinkedIn for professional thoughts, leadership and strategy content. You can also build podcasts for building a loyal, voice-driven audience. You can pick 2 to 3 platforms. Somebody like me, I don't have at the point I didn't used to have energy for Facebook because I was so engrossed with my offline. But when I learned that visibility was also going to be valuable for me on social media, I had to now start posting on Facebook deliberately, intentionally, right, purposefully. So you can pick 2 platforms. For me right now, I'm doing Facebook and Instagram, and a little of LinkedIn and a little, Facebook and WhatsApp. That's what I'm doing now. Maybe as I progress and I have the energy, by God's grace, I'll move on to other platforms. But I'm teaching you, right? I'm teaching you here that you can pick 2 to 3 platforms that you can manage and start. So you also have visibility boundaries. Influence can be overwhelming. It can overwhelm you if you're not grounded. But this is how to protect your peace. Don't post everything. Post value. Post on purpose. You can take breaks if you want. Share the spotlight if it happens. You know, share your wins. Stay true to your tone and your values. Have a rhythm that works for your kind of lifestyle. There are people that, you know, everybody must know what they're doing at every point in time, but for someone like me who I love privacy a lot, there's so many of my private life that is not on social media. That's because I don't want it there. And there are people even around me who still don't know what's going on around me. Yes, that's the kind of person that I am. So if you're the kind of person that everybody must know what you're doing and you love it that way, fine. It's yours. It's you're the ones who use your hand to set your boundaries. So you set your visibility boundary so that you can have peace of mind. So you already know how I said I'm going to share this with you as we go into the 5th and the final module. You already know my Bakassi Fish Festival story. I've created impact with it, and today I'm using my voice to help other people also give back without burning out and all of that, and that's what I'm doing now, right? So it did not start as a perfect brand. It had just started as a purpose, and I've been driving it, and I'm still driving it. So you don't need to look like me. You don't need to look like anyone else. You don't need to sound like me. You don't need to sound like anyone else. You don't need to be viral. You don't need to sound like a celebrity. All what you need is authenticity. And you're consistently who you are. You play you. Show up. And show up with strategy. That will bring influence, that will bring legacy, that will give visibility for what you're doing. So we are going to module 5. We'll go deeper into turning all of this into sustainable life model. You're going to learn how to align your time, your income, family, and vision with your purpose. So I'm going to share with you how to design a life that you don't have to run away from. Yes, because it can be overwhelming. I'm just reading through what some of these persons are sharing here on this other screen. Ooh, thank you. Oh, I'm blushing. I'm sorry. I didn't take this thing seriously. I'm sorry. I didn't take it seriously. Sorry. Somebody is saying that I've been hiding all these values since. I'm sorry. I'm here now. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to module 5, and that's the final module. Module 5, the topic for lesson 5 is designing a life of purpose and prosperity. Very important. Designing a life of purpose and prosperity. My throat is becoming very dry. Let me sip some water. Okay. Designing a life of purpose and prosperity. This is where we are going to end it, module 5. This is where we are going to bring everything together. This is where we learn how to build a life that's very sustainable. Building it on a sustainability model. We've talked about purpose. We've talked about giving. We've talked about branding. We've talked about strategy. Building visibility. Writing your purpose statements. All of that we've talked about it. But here's one big truth. Building all of this will not make sense if you're not building a life that gives back to you. I'll say that again and I'll try. Building all of this that I've shared visibility, branding, purpose, strategy. Building all of these will not make sense if you do not build a life that gives back to you. Hey! Sometimes these lessons can be very spiritual. God. You can build all of these things, but if you do not build a life that gives back to you, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So this final module is about designing your life intentionally, sustainably, and leaving room for your personal joy and happiness. So what does a life of purpose and prosperity mean? The title of this, topic of this module is designing a life of prosperity, of purpose and prosperity. So what does a life of purpose and prosperity look like? What does it look like? Several years ago, I attended a training, a leadership training, and one of the trainers asked a question. Imagine yourself in the next 15 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. How do you want to wake up? How do you want to wake up? That question is simple, but think deeply into that question. How do you want to wake up? And then I used to think in my head, I want to wake up and not be in a hurry to go out. What does that tell me? That I don't need to hang my life around a 9-to-5 job. But not necessarily. That also tells me that I need to live a life that I'm able to manage my time well, so that I go to bed when I'm supposed to and I wake up at a good time, so I'm not in a hurry to go out. That was then I used to think. So like I said, these things will be just simple, but deeply impactful. So how do you want to be waking up? A life of purpose and prosperity looks like waking up with clarity. You wake up and you know where you're going. You're not in a hurry, but you know where you're going. You wake up with clarity. A life of purpose and prosperity looks like working on the things that align with your values. Having time for your family, building wealth while building people, choosing peace over pressure. Like I told you, visibility is not about trending on social media. You're building peace and you choose peace over pressure. You're building impact without being overwhelmed. Like I said, I want to wake up without rushing out. Why? Because I love peace. I want to wake up and spend more time with my family. I want to wake up and I have clarity where I'm going. I have my time. As I'm going to bed, I already know what I want to do tomorrow. So I'm not in a rat race. All right? And then, of course, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not under pressure to meet up with bills. So it means I have to be financially stable too, so that I don't put myself under pressure because I have bills unpaid. So you don't need to choose between purpose and prosperity. You can have both. A life of peace, a life that's not under pressure, a life that's not, you're not always stressed out. Nobody gives nobody gives a award for being the most stressed person. I'm not organizing a financial advisory class, but this is part of how to live well, right? Because if you live well, you give back well. So I'm sharing with you an acronym that I'm using to summarize a life of purpose and prosperity. And that acronym is PILLAR. P-I, if you're here, just type P-I-L-L-A-R, PILLAR. P-I-L-L-A-R. Let me type here too. PILLAR. What does PILLAR mean? First, P for purpose. Why do you do what you do? We've talked about that, so I'm just bringing everything together. Why do you do what you do? Purpose. I for income. What are your streams of income aligned with your purpose? What are the streams of income aligned with your purpose? Lifestyle, that's for L. What kind of life do you want to live daily? So let me just keep typing here. Purpose, income, lifestyle. Then the other L for love. Then A for activity. And then R for rhythm. So let me share that here too. Purpose. What do you do? Why do you do what you do? Income. What are your streams of income aligned with your lifestyle? Then aligned with your purpose rather. Then lifestyle. How do you want to, live your life daily? What kind of life do you want to live daily? And then the other one is love. How does your daily life and how does your relationship support what you love? Support your purpose? How do your relationships support what you love? And then that's activity. What are the things that you do that gives you joy and happiness? What are the things that you do that give you joy and happiness? And of course, what are the things you do that give your life meaning? And then the last one are, what pace keeps you productive? What pace keeps you not burnt out? What pace takes you away from pressure? Are you the one that, what do they call it? Brigade approach to things? Or you're the one who just loves you have your own kind of rhythm. You know the rhythm that works best for you. There are people that say, I cannot work under pressure. But there are people that can actually work under pressure. We are different people. So you know the rhythm that works, the pace that keeps you productive, the rhythm that works for your life. So now let's connect your time, your family, and your vision. Let's make it very practical. Your time. You have to start planning your time well. Don't just fill up your calendars. Let your family see your mission. Let them see what you're doing, not just your hustles. Let them see your mission so that they can be involved and they can also build with you. That way, you're not under pressure to meet your family demands and your personal demands, And then finally, your vision. Keep your long-term vision goals visible to yourself and to the people that matter. Because every decision today should align with where you're going. Every decision today was aligned to where you're going. So, there's some things that are very important to us. But, it will require further learning. Because this next session I'm going to share with you before we close is about money matters. Sometimes we think that it's not important to discuss it because we feel we want to give back, so we can always collect money. A lot of purpose-driven people, they struggle with money a lot. And they also feel guilty around earning or scaling. You feel guilty about monetizing your platform. Like myself, I used to feel guilty. Why should I charge when I can give for free? God gave me freely, so freely I give. But when you want to eat, you spend money to eat. When you want to do things, spend money to do them, and then you become burnt out, you become broke, and all of that. So I'm teaching all of this from personal experience. I'm teaching all of this from personal experience because a lot of us, the best of us, we struggle so much with money, and then we feel guilty. We feel guilty when money matters are discussed. But let me tell you clearly, you can't pour from an empty wallet. I used to say you cannot pour from an empty vessel, but now let me use wallet so that I know that it's money matters. So you deserve paid speaking gigs, you deserve monetized content, you deserve product sales, you deserve to charge for your services, you deserve passive income, you deserve brand partnerships, you deserve sponsorship, you deserve winning grants and funding, you deserve traveling out for fellowships and conferences, you deserve all the recognition, you deserve plenty of things, all of these things. You deserve all the good things that the world offers because you're giving back to the earth. And it's not how you're giving back to the earth that the universe will not open up opportunities for you, because you're earning more. If you're earning more, you give back more now, share. You give back better. The more you earn, the more you. So how much is given, much is expected. But if you're not being given much, how do you give back much? Okay. So I'm sharing with you the 3S life model that you and I should live by because of our life values now. The 3S life model that we should live by. Your lifestyle should reflect the choices, that you prioritize. Like, it should reflect your strategy. You make choices that are prioritized. You make choices that are planned. Your lifestyle should reflect your society. It should reflect your sustainability. Strategy, you make choices that reflect your plans. Society, you stay connected to the people that you serve and the people that you're called to serve. And then sustainability, you protect your energy, time, and finances. This is the 3S model that will help us live better. Protect your strategy. Your lifestyle should reflect your strategy. That's your choices. Your society, the people you serve, and then your sustainability. How you're protecting your energy, your time, and your finances. Every now and then, try and ask yourself this simple question. Is my life aligned with my purpose? Or am I just performing? Is my life aligned with my purpose? Or am I just performing? This year for those of you that follow me, this year I became a mother, and in the process a lot of things just changed, and I said I dream of building something that will give me ample time to spend with my family. So I did not just sleep on it. I started working on it, but around this time it dawned on me that these things I've been talking about and planning towards is already here. So I started putting a lot of things together. I said no, I must not wait. Why am I'm sharing this because all the things that I'm teaching you, I'm sharing here, are from a place of experience, so that you don't make the kind of mistakes that I made. There's some mistakes that I've learned, especially about money matters, and especially about planning and all of that. Then I said, ooh, it's already here. So, I started working on stuff. In fact, I said for the very first time, I started taking social media seriously because I now said, no, I have to dedicate time for the things that are important. I know that I'm working. I make out time for the work. But I have to also build a life of legacy that I've always been planning to do for the past how many years. Why am I delaying? I said, we are launching. Told myself, we are doing this, so that the time in your hands, you can utilize them better and create more impact. And I said, as I'm moving along, I'm dragging you people with me, because as I share my experience, you're already grabbing it, and you can also learn from me, and we all grow like that. So building a life of purpose and prosperity doesn't have a timeline. The moment you realize that, hey, it's time, you should move. You shouldn't wait for anything. You shouldn't wait for everything to fall into the basket. You should move. Because why I'm doing this is I'm choosing the rhythm that will honor my purpose. I'm choosing the rhythm that will honor who I'm becoming. I'm a mother, right? And I'm growing in that motherhood. I'm learning even from the mistakes that I made, right? And I'm saying this is a rhythm, this is the kind of rhythm that will honor my purpose. I have fish festivals to plan, I have a job to attend to, I have businesses to attend to. So I had to plan a rhythm. I planned something that will match my pace. I don't want to, like I said earlier, I don't want to wake up rushing. I plan everything. In fact, most posts that you see on my Facebook as early as 6 a.m., I schedule it a day before. Why? I don't want to wake up every morning thinking of what to post. I don't want to wake up every morning thinking of what to do. So there are some things that I've abandoned. The things that they eat up into my time and they don't give me that pace, that rhythm. They don't respond to that flow that I want anymore. I have abandoned lots of things to focus on the things that matter now. And as you're learning, learn how to also keep things aside that don't serve your purpose. So the things that no longer serve your purpose, keep them. My new reality is now I'm a mother. So that things I don't do anymore, that places I don't go anymore, that jobs I don't take up anymore, that activities I don't do anymore, because I need to now make out time for motherhood, make out time for my purpose, make out time for my give back project, give back, have time for my different things. And how do you do that? You need to protect your time, your energy, and all of that. So I've chosen a rhythm that honors who I am becoming, so you too can do it. We have come to the end of our session, right? We have come to the end of our session of the Give Back Masterclass, turning your purpose into impact. But this is what I want to share as we finally close. You don't need permission to live fully. You don't need to delay your joy to create impact. You can start small and you can still live richly. You are not just a strategist. You are a life giver. You are a builder. You are a creator. You are a change maker. You are a leader. You're not just giving back. You're building lives. And now I've shared with you the tools that you need to give back sustainably, so that you don't go broke, so you don't burn out, and so that whatever you're doing lasts a lifetime. I want your life to reflect everything that you were born to do. I want your story to bless nations. I want you to always wake up knowing that your like every day counts for you. I want you to wake up to know that you're building a life of legacy and every day counts for you. So start giving, so that with your giving you're growing, with your growth you're glowing, and with your glow your community is blessed. We are not giving back because you have much. You're giving back because it's part of your purpose. You're giving back because you want more. The Bible says, I believe in the Bible so much, it says, whatever you do, it will be given to you manifold, pressed down, shaken together. So whatever you give back to the world is not a loss, it's a blessing. It comes back to you manifold. You may not know how it comes back, but for those of us for myself who have experienced it, you never go dry when you give back. A tank that gives off its water remains fresh and has more water poured in it. But a tank that has water filled up and is stored up for a long time, the water becomes contaminated. It's not worthy for anything. You are the salt of the earth. You are the light. Savour, shine. And the Bible says when you shine, the world will see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. So let your light shine in your community. Don't just grab a 9-to-5 job and that is the end. Don't just start a business and that is the end. You're making profit, you're getting salaries. Make out time, make out resources, make out you know, make out time, your resources, make out your finances, make out your life to give back to the world, so that the world will be a better place. Go to Google, search for SDGs, find out which of them aligns with your purpose, and start building projects that will give back to your community. It's not just about amassing wealth. Give back to your community. We've heard stories of people who gave back and their legacy still remains till today. Mother Teresa is an example. We keep using her as example every now and then. But look around you, you see women and men who live their life for others. Their legacies are never forgotten. When they die, you'll be hearing things that will make you shed tears. So, this is the end of this session. I want you to give back. And I even want you to do more than I have done. I want you to do more than I have done. So this is the end of our session. I'm reading what someone is sharing here. Okay, thank you very much. I've just read, it's a long one, so I've just read through. Thank you, I appreciate. Thanks for the honor. Okay, Facebook people, this is the end of this session. The replay will be available. Yeah, will be available, but you know, Facebook takes down this live video after 30 days, but the replay is going to be available for subsequent users. It's going to be somewhere. And for those of us who are not able to join in the live session, if you know someone who needs this replay, please kindly let me know. The replay will be available for a fee. For those who joined live, you're getting it for free. Those who bought my those who pre-ordered the ebook, they got this video free. Those who are here in the live session are getting it free. I'm not charging you a thing. But after now, this content will be available for a fee. So if you need it stored up somewhere, if you have friends who are not able to come to the live session, tell them to watch this video before it's taken down. And also reach out to me. Maybe if after the 30 days you still have people who want to share with, reach out to me. I'll let you have it. Thank you so much for being part of this session. I'll just sign out from here so I can catch up other things. I need to go and feed my baby, I beg. I've been here for how long? For a very long time. Since 10. This is past 12. Ooh, this is minutes past 12 already. It's to 1. I've been here for 2 hours plus. Let me go and feed my baby. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for being part of it. I've seen all that you've shared. I've spoken with your organizer to let me come on your platform again and respond to some of these concerns. Thank you so much. We'll drive this sustainable project together. We'll drive this give back project together going forward. Thank you, and please have a wonderful day. Let me know when you're launching your give back project. I want to be a part of it. If you've not gotten my ebook, go get the ebook. I'm sharing the link here right away.